the conference. We will have Mr. Chandra sharing with us in terms of how AI is going to, translate data into intelligence or wisdom, and how that wisdom will become part of the industrial 4.0 or 5.0, as what Zefan has shared earlier. So let's welcome Mr. Chandra. Chandra is also the organizing chair for this conference, so a lot of work that Chandra has put together.
Yeah. We are almost on the last segment. Thank you for being participant and this lovely audience here. And again, I'm seeing all the different faces again and again. Like all my friends are coming back to NSAS event. So today, my topic, I'm going to talk about AI in action and how the companies are leveraging. So as a safety officer, I'm a professional safety officer, WHSO auditor, and over the year, all my classmates are here. Over the year, we were just following safety as what MOM guidance. We were talking about all those stuffs. Now, it's a new AI. Is that an interruption? Or are we going to lose my job? Or do I need to improve myself, my skills? So that's what our engineer Ho is talking, Japan and Brett. And you see the new energy, new initiatives, how it's shaping. But still, whatever the data you are putting in, that is a golden rule. If you put a wrong data inside, you will get an output as a wrong. So that is the key. For checking the data, still like us, experts, need. So we need to go back and check whether the data, whatever the data they're putting inside, is that the right data to validate. Is this action, for example, if you see Brett, when he showed up his emojis, his face, that reaction, Sam, I understand. And it gives the same reaction. Right? So that teaching, an expert only can do it. So that's what we are going to look into my presentation. I'm going to run some other thing quickly because the other presenter, being a last presenter, that's always the challenge. Because most of my slides been flashed by other presenters. And again, interesting story. Interesting story. The whole day I was watching. Almost all the presenters, they use AI help. So 60 to 70% of the slides driven from AI, ChatGPT or Copilot or some other mechanism. Even I've seen some of the presentation with the nice things also developed by AI. So, but when I say also developed by AI, it reduces our work, but still I need to verify and validate, is that the right thing? For instance, all the safety professionals, we know in 45,000 standard, MOC is one of the 8.3 class is studying about management of change. But when I do the ChatGPT, what is the requirement as per ISO 45,000? ChatGPT says there is no requirement in the 45,000. It can give us a wrong information. But I know that is a standard. I know that's how I'm practicing every single day. So I can see the data output is wrong. So what I did is I teach ChatGPT. I learn myself how to do the prompt engineering, as engineer Ho said. I learn myself. Almost last 1.5 years, I'm putting at least an hour myself to stay within the market. Otherwise, I'm going to obsolete myself. So I'm putting a lot of additional energy to learn myself AI. So I'm sitting in IIT Madras in one of the online course. I'm also registering any NTU in another course. I'm also doing my 42,000 AI standards lead auditor course. So I myself stretch to take all those things to stay in the market so that I can able to guide and teach my people, PS. Right. So, okay, let's watch the video. See, this is the true picture of how the AI is translating into reality. So if you see 2003, so we all seen Will Smith. Some of you seen Will Smith, these videos, spaghetti, eating spaghetti. It is
Deixa a timidez de lado, puxa amigo e vem dançar. Mostra tudo que cê sabe, o Guga vai analisar. Deixa a timidez de lado, puxa amigo e vem dançar. Mostra tudo que cê sabe, que o Livinho vai te olhar. Pode sentar. Pode sentar. Pode sentar. E se tiver muito excitada, pode dançar pelada. Se tiver muito excitada, pode dançar pelada. Eu tô vidrado em você. Balança a bunda agora, eu quero ver você descer. Balança a bunda agora, eu quero ver você descer. Balança a bunda agora, eu quero ver você descer. Deixa a timidez de lado, puxa amigo e vem dançar. Mostra tudo que cê sabe.
So this is the reality. So over the 3-4 years, so there's someone behind the screen. They are developing these modules and they are attaching all those LLMs as we hear from Brad. So there's a lot of effort and energy being on the back end they are putting in. And that's how they managed to create this. It's $1 trillion business. And I'm going to put a question here. How many employees, everyone is using WhatsApp. How many employees in WhatsApp worldwide? Any guess? How many employees in WhatsApp? I'm seeing somebody already started to ask AI. So the last I see is 50. Can you believe it? The last I seen in somewhere I read is 50 employees. They are handling the entire world, right? So that is the power of AI, $1 trillion business, right? So we need to embrace ourselves to go along as a safety professional, how this AI is data can be converted into AI can convert it into robotics. I'm going to the last video, I'm going to show my own effort of AI development. So again, engineer host show this, and also Jeffan show this. This presentation, for your information, all those presentation, we already seek permission from individual presenter. We will upload into our NSCS website for free download. So give us a couple of days time, we will convert this into things. Also the photographs, whatever the photographs we have taken, we will upload into the NSCS website. So you need not write to us. Go to NSCS website in a couple of days. You can download the pictures, you can download the presentation itself. Right? So the type of AI, so it's a development. If you see, this is a development over the period. So that's what our engineer Ho also mentioned. It's a narrow AI, it's a face vision, face ID visions, right? You see scanning in our airport. So also the earlier picture you have seen, that's the initial stage of AI. Then generative AI, this is something at ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT also it's learning, Copilot, all the different models. Now somebody said ChatGPT is diminishing, so the new thing is coming up. So industry is evaluating. Now, can artificial intelligence, like they think like a human? Maybe possible. Not now, but they need to mold. Maybe possible, maybe practical. Some of the trial runs are already in place. So there are research and some of the trial runs are in place. So I'm not sure when they are going to launch those models. So we need to be up ourselves to learn those stuffs quickly to adopt. So let me give you one small hint how this interpretation is happening at the back end. So if you see, as I told you, we need to put right input to get right output. So that is the key for this, right? So if I give a right algorithms, rules and algorithms, so that's, you see Brad was showing that coding is with no minutes, he can able to produce the code. So coding is those engineers. I've seen. I'm personally meeting people as auditor for management system. I'm seeing certain companies are reducing the manpower because 10 coders. So you need to have Java, the different platforms. They need to do codings. Now 10 of the coders, developers, been reduced to one. That one person need to know AI in technology, how to get those codes faster. And that one person take it a lavish job because he doesn't have an 8-hour job. He is doing it in couple of hours and he is taking rest. So that's what happening in the real time in the industry. Once you put the right data, then the data learning, so the deep learning is happening. So there is a process, 5-step process in data mining and cleaning and all those the data analytical side. Then after, it's a deep learning. We are educating the LLMs, what I want. So as a company, I can set up my own LLM and I can control myself within the company's cybersecurity space, which is our cloud. And the firewalls are protected, everything is under control, and I can put external plugins to get the data what I want to have, and I can make sure my system is stay within me, my data is within me. So for example, safety statistics is vital. I can't share with somebody else. So incident investigation, I can't share with somebody else. Personal data, I can't share with somebody else. So we have the system to control everything within the limits. Then after that, the machine learning. So that's where the two machines are learning each other. So the machine learning process are happening. Then finally, once we are fine with the data, we are fine with the machine learning pattern, and we do the pilot training ourselves. We do internal pilot runs. Then that pilot run can be, once we are successful, then that can be a full-fledged system for the companies. That's how the companies are migrating from the normal system to AI migration. So now 42,000 standard, still the legal requirements, still it's vague. For example, what China said is acceptable, US is not acceptable. Singapore is standing at the middle row. So we still, the frameworks are still have to build in. Stronger frameworks are coming in as we see Singapore government is putting a lot of efforts in making frameworks, and there's a lot of wings are working and ensuring that cybersecurity and also artificial intelligence going along the way. So let us hear from our Microsoft CEO, what he thinks from the CEO prospect.
When the PCs first came out, right? In fact, I met the CEO of Generali, which is an Italian,
Milan.
So he started, an insurance company, and he was telling me about how in the early 80s when he started, he'd have to go ask for permission to send a fax. So I thought, well, it must have been some compliance issue. He says, no, it was not a compliance issue. It was like expensive to send a fax. And then PCs came out, right? And then you could literally say, okay, let me put an attachment in an email and send it. And it changed the entire process of how his agent brokers and them communicated. Same thing, take forecasting, right? How did forecasting happen in a multinational company like ours? Pre-PC, right? I mean, faxes went around, somebody then did an inter-office memo, and then eventually 3 months later you had a forecast. Whereas then suddenly there was a new workflow, which was email attachments in an Excel spreadsheet. So I think that process change, right? When I think about what's happening even with Copilot and agents inside a Copilot as the UI layer, it's a new workflow. Yeah. And so the work process has to change. So good old in the mid-90s, we used to talk about business process re-engineering. It's back again. Where you got to go look at how does any process, right, happen today, and you got to re-engineer. So that means it's moving the cheese around a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that change management is the hard thing. But then let me give you an example, even just at Microsoft. When I look at my marketing efficiency of dollars spent, double digit, customer service, double digit, internal IT ops, double digit, right? So you take any one of these. So I'm putting that right into my budget. So as a CEO, what I do is I just literally say, okay, 10 points or 100 basis points of operating leverage next year, and then go take that for the next 5 years. You compound it, right? So that means if that's going to be what the efficient frontier of any company is, and once that is in the water, every CEO has to wake up and say, because after all, thanks to capital markets, what they expect of CEOs is miracles every 90 days. And so, so if you don't produce that miracle.
Well, you're one of those who actually delivered every 90 days. But I think, we see it because we are probably one of the world's largest users of Copilot on GitHub. You can see the impact already, but it's not just about technology, it's about process improvement, it's about training people, it's about changing mindsets, the whole human issue that have to deal with it. But I think this is something which will take off. But one thing which people are, I think, I remember in the early days of the last 2 years, there was this huge hype about AI will rule the world and all that. But that seems to have died down. And I think people are realizing that responsible AI can be done.
Can be done with innovation, right? So, next slide, please.
When
Next slide.
the PCs first came out, right? In fact, I met the CEO of.
So I've seen this in Keppel. Now it's a Citrium. I've seen this when COVID, we had to go on audit, on the ground. So it's already deployed in Singapore 4 years back. We're already equipped with all these AI tools within our country, right? So I don't want to spend too much time here because the previous presenters already spoke about, and how we can as a safety professionals and company owners, CEO of the business, how we can leverage this system into our things. The next video give us more wisdom that where are the vulnerable area. For example, major hazard installations. If there is a fire, how we are going to handle the fire. So those things, so we are going to see into the next video. So this is how the past. It's done. Fire is done. So we are eliminating the human risk, and whether it's robots are going there and help us. So we can leverage those kind of efforts from the AI and robotics. So how the data, how all this thing happening? So that's the theory. If you look into really like building a true autonomous AI system takes more than a code. Coding is not only going to resolve this, give us a full solution. It requires perception, action, memory, and contextualizing reasoning. So that's where we can help. So as a safety professionals, we can step into that portion to help the AI tools building, AI tools implementation, and educating our people. So that's where the safety professionals. So as this morning we see our engineer who is mentioning, go to NTUC, learn at a 90% plus YouTube. That means you don't pay anything at all. So prompt engineering, and of course there's plenty more. I was hearing this morning there is another one training provider, 3-day training, and it was amazing. So there's a lot of things are coming in. Only thing is we need to little bit stretch ourselves and go and get this kind of a knowledge, how the user input. So it's going to transfer that whole input. That's where the data, what we are going to give. So if we give a wrong data, so then finally the AI agent gives the wrong data. So that data input is very critical for getting a right output. After that, there is an actuator arm and perceptions and the sensors, IIoT, and the decision making. This module have to be every single time have to review this memory, the memory patterns. This one also is like you have to go and review on and make it this alarm workable. So there's a new direction, new world, new things we can learn and quickly adapt into the new system. So again, how this data converted into wisdom. So this is a data, information, knowledge, and wisdom model. So IIoT sensors collect data. So are we ready for this? Maybe not. Some of the older machines, we can't install sensors. So it's a transformation happening. So when I see the purchasing, when they do go for a new purchasing item, they are making sure that this data transformation, which is a sensors, can be installed. So those new equipments they are buying for the new industries adoption, right? AI turns that into an insight. So when the data being collected, that data is going into the system and it get mines and populated all the reserve data. Then I've seen 60,000 data, 1 million data, multi-million data inside. I've seen when I audit my companies and the system. Then predictive analysis, that's very important before the system background. So we have seen as an engineers, we have seen the PNF curve, earlier conditional monitoring we have talk about. So all those data is getting into the system and AI is giving you need to do this now, you need to do this now. So AI is dictating what the companies have to do. So that's where the predictive analysis can be done, and that helps the companies more optimization in their efficient operation. So I give you one example. One of the company, I'm doing audit for them about last 6-7 years. Initially, they were having a line, different 6 people are sitting in. Somebody have to pick, somebody have to do the first inspection. So dimensionally, then somebody have to see the rotor current passing through. Then the third, fourth things, they has a go gauge and no go gauge. And finally, the final output been taken a photograph and you have to record, and it has to pass through the final packing. So there is a 6-step. I see 6 people are sitting in. Second, I'm seeing ABB robotic arms. It's 6 different arms are doing this activity. And the amazing thing is when I ask them how often you shut down this machine for maintenance and other things. So I really got shocked. 2 hours in 1 year. They stopped 2 hours in 1 whole year. The machine runs 365 days. So they're increasing efficiency. They put instead of the operator, they put some technical person to handle the machine, right? So let us see how the new future going to be.
What if your home started feeling a little too futuristic? Instead of the usual clutter of gadgets, your house could soon be filled with robots handling everything from your laundry to your dinner plans. Potential future with the help of CGI robots. Imagine robots taking over the everyday tasks that we've always dreaded. What if you come home after a long day only to be greeted by your robot making you a hot dinner, exactly the way you like it? But it doesn't stop at cooking. The robot could easily handle washing the dishes, making sure every plate and cup is spotless while you relax on the couch. No more arguing about whose turn it is to do the dishes. Your robot takes care of it every time. Need groceries? No problem. Your robot could even head out to the store, picking up exactly what you need. Cleaning your room would become a thing of the past. With a robot in charge, space would always be neat and organized. It could arrange your furniture and vacuum every corner. Everything would always be in its place and you wouldn't lift a finger. But what if your robot becomes more than just a helper? Picture it arranging your furniture for the perfect movie night, or even giving you a wake-up call with a freshly brewed coffee in hand. Would you form a bond with your robot? Could it evolve into something more than a mere appliance? Of course, with all this convenience, there would be a few things to consider. Privacy would be at the top of the list. As these robots get smarter, they'll know your habits, your schedule, and maybe even your secrets. At the same time, these robots could bring a whole new level of comfort and security to your life. For busy families or people with physical disabilities, they could become life-saving assistants, providing not only convenience but also support. So, would you be ready for a robot to move in? Or would you prefer to keep your home all to yourself?
So this is the new future. How the industry, how the companies are thinking about, like you heard about Satya Nadella was talking about the 90 days, they have to see 10% income profit, they have to, investors are chasing them. So all the CEOs are having a different papers they have to produce to, profit and loss. So now they are migrating into AI system. And we had two different versions, 4.0, 5.0. Where are we now? So actually we are transforming from 4.0. It's overlapping. So it was a very fast track. It was a very fast track happening. And if you see Brad and other presenters, Jeffan, and they talk about the year of transitions. So if you see, that's why we didn't affect. If you see the last generation, they didn't affect this transformation. And again, unfortunately for us, we are affecting because the transformation is happening rapidly. So if you see 120 years, 70 years, that's only the numbers. Forget about numbers. You see the transformation. So the lapping. So industry 4.0 to 5.0. So the lapping is 20 years. Now if you see 2030, so what will be the new world? We just can imagine something, but it's still questionable. There's a lot of improvements going on. It could be more faster than that, what we are predicting. Right. So if you see this particular image, so it is, as Jafan mentioned, IIoT is industry 4. Now AI is industry 5. So it's a combined. So they are leveraging IIoT. So the learning from sensoring and other thing. Then they are putting algorithm and data mining and using that data for a meaningful translation into thing. If you look at this, it's not sensing my hand. It's not sensing my hand. So this is very dangerous.
When the coming, this is not sensorial, but collision detection.
It's a collision detection. So it will hit the person, then only it will stop. It's too late. So that's where we need to, as a safety professionals, that's where we need to to go and check when there is a new robot coming in, new things coming in. Is there a sensor? No, if not, no, the product is wrong. So that's where we need to give input well in advance, not after the purchase. Well in advance, we need to see. Again, this is a very cheap $80,000 robot. $80,000 robot. I was checking this. So I said, no, there's no sensor, so we can't take it as a product realization. We have to reject this. So you need to install the sensors and come back to So if you see the agent, you might be heard from some other presenter, they talk about agent. So if you see the technological trend and the agent type, so the simple reflex is a thermostat and auto dare. So the thermostat and auto doors are simple things, and model based are robot vacuum. Now there's a vacuum robots are in our house. Robots are helping us to clean. Then after there's a goal based. So we put a GPS. So I want to go from Pi Labor to my house, Tampines. I put a GPS, so GPS guide me, okay, this way is heavy traffic, and it gives me different way. That's a goal based. Then utility based. So it's like a stock trading. Somebody was doing stock trading today, looking at the curves. How that curve's been developed is because of this data been immediately going to the server, and it works and it gives us a real data. Then like recommendations. So if you see your YouTube, if you see your Netflix, if you see our, so there are some recommendation, because you watched like this, then they give you those similar movies or similar YouTube videos. So it's going to recommend you. So that's where the back end YouTube or Netflix system is reading the user's preference. Now, the smart factory and robots. The smart factory and robots are really coming into phase. And if you see the smart factory and robots, one of the company, I can't name the company, it's a semiconductor industry. Earlier, they were around 600 over employees. So they set a 3-year plan to reduce the headcount to 100. They're fully automating system. They're making sensors. They're bringing the robotics, and I've seen the model. It's really working, and I've seen the same thing in Amazon. They're doing it without analysts. So there are bottlenecks. It's not simply we just take the cup and put it on the other side. There are several bottlenecks. We can't migrate as what we think. For example, as I told you, if we want to do a motor sensing, that motor is supposed to be having a sensors. There's some spots for us, so we can insert our sensors to read vibration analysis, for instance. So if there is no sensors, we can't take the vibration analysis. We can't collect the data, live data. So those motor, if it is an old motor, it's not going to convert. So the cost for transformation is also huge. You can't simply say okay, I'm going to convert into AI everything. So in that sense, am I going to lose job? No, it will take some number of years for that migration. So we have ample time for us to migrate ourselves, to adapt to the new industry, adapt to the new systems. That's how the legacy system and infrastructure right now. So I witnessed in my day, I do a lot of different audits, and in a day I see a lot of real-time operation controls things. They are not ready yet. So in Jurong Airline, you go for any semiconductor, you name it, I can answer you. So they are not ready yet in the legacy system. There's a lagging, and when I talk to them, this is a huge investment. So it takes some number of years for them to migrate. And again, data management and security. So when people are saying use your credit cards, how many of you been affected by credit cards? So the data stolen by some third party. Every single day we have some kind of news coming out from the industry, right? So that is also a trend. Then again, the workforce gap. Are we ready? No. So it will take some years for us to build, and that's where the country level also is putting a lot of effort. And if I'm not mistaken, NTU and NUS is putting a lot of master degree courses, which I enrolled recently. They want to make sure that Singaporeans are getting trained for these recent changes. So if you want to do something, please go and check NUS and NTU websites. They have a lot of master degree courses already up and running. Then high cost, and as I mentioned, the ROI, return of investment. So it is still subjective. So they can't go and convince the senior management, okay, you give me $1 million, I'll give you within 5-year time. They can't go and convince because there is no case study or there's no previous exact numbers they can produce. So that's one of the thing. And change management and resistance. So we are not ready. Similarly, the companies are also not ready. So there's a change management and resistance is adoption. Resisting and adopting the thing is also stopping the change. Those are all the new challenges in migration into AI industry. If you see the CEOs, these questions were asked, and this is an international survey, and this is how the CEOs thinks that when they improve, they put AI in place, and whether they can see any increased competitiveness or productivity gain. 77% agree that they're going to have a increased competitiveness, and also 83% say the productivity gains. So the rest all I'll let you go through. And again, these slides will be put in our website for you to read. So according to World Economic Forum, so they realize the industry is shifting, and 2030 there's a new skill set required. And when I read this, the very interesting thing pop up in my mind is not the AI and big data. If you look at that, creative thinking and motivational awareness, so and some more resilience, flexibility, and agility. So that those things are also coming up in the 2030. So that's a new world, new challenge in front of us. So we need to embrace ourselves to stay relevant. As I told you, I put myself into the line of fire as a safety officer. I learned a lot of new things. So there's a lot of aid from government. There's a lot of subsidy, 90% waived, and only we pay 10%. And believe me, the first video, it only took me about less than 3 minutes. I have no clue on that software. I never seen that software. So since this AI with things going on, I was thinking something different. I want to put something different. Then I Google what is the AI tools available. Then that's sorry. Before that, the next one is going to be. So this is the real factory, Amazon factory. So from my LinkedIn page, I've seen this, and I quickly go and see, okay, I want to make a video, how I'm going to make. So I use one of the tool from this list. Then I go and look into. I didn't have any coding knowledge. I didn't have much experience of how to generate, but it took me only 3 minutes to produce that 33 seconds video. And my team is producing multiple videos using this. So we are not far away. There are a lot of help from the Microsoft, and there's international bodies are also launching several free courses online. We can adopt that, and also NTUC and NES and NTU. There are a lot of other courses also available for us to upgrade ourselves. With that note, I think that's my last slide. With that note, I will open if any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chandra. Any questions for Chandra? Right. If not, I think we heard from. Let's put our hands together once again. Thank you, Chandra.